Republican Senator of Ohio, Senator Rob Portman, and from Charlotte, North Carolina, former Democratic Governor of Ohio and President of the Center for American Progress Action Fund, Ted Strickland. Good to have you on board this morning.
Rob, Senator, the next time you come on 7 Morning Show, you're going to have to wear a University of Alabama sweatshirt. So look at us.
I appreciate that loyalty to Ohio State. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. It's fascinating.
Sorry about your team this year.
There's nothing to be sorry about. I mean, we're going to win the national championship again. That's just what we do. All right, so I want to talk two things. First, I want to talk about economics and then politics, and I'll talk to the governor next. But first of all, let's talk about economics. Ohio, obviously in the center of the country. A lot of good things are happening. Unemployment under 6%, and yet you've got 27% of Americans, only 27% think we're heading in the right direction. What is the state of Ohio's economy right now?
Well, we're doing a little better than the national average on unemployment and also on job creation, but we're facing the same headwinds from Washington that every state's facing. So the big issues, you just heard about it from some of these business leaders: taxes, health care, energy, how we deal with trade and exports. Washington's falling down to the job.
Why don't Americans feel better if your unemployment rate is 5.6%?
You know why they don't feel better?
That's pretty good.
You know why they don't feel better? Because that's not the real unemployment rate. We all know this. There are more people who have left the workforce than have joined the workforce. In the last 6 years, for every one person that's gotten a job, almost 3 people have left the workforce. Right now, among men, we have the lowest what's called labor participation rate, how many people in the workforce, that we've had since the 1940s. And among men and women, it goes back to the 1970s, a time period we don't want to repeat, the Carter years. So it's not as good as those numbers show, and, frankly, people are discouraged for good reasons.
Governor Strickland, do you agree that that's not the real unemployment rate? And I think the minimum wage and the issue of wages plays into this conversation just as much.
Well, Mika, the last time I saw you and Joe, we were at Harvard at the Kennedy School, and it's good to know that you're at the Harvard of the Midwest this morning, the great Ohio State University. Now, let me say to you that the fact is that unemployment has come down in Ohio, but a recent study indicated that most of the jobs that have been created were low-pay, minimum wage jobs. And we do need to raise the minimum wage. This recovery has not benefited the vast middle class. It has benefited the wealthiest among us. But we need a program that's going to put average people in good-paying jobs, and that's what our plan has to be if we're going to really get out of this doldrum that we're in.
Jeremy Peters wants to jump into the conversation. Jeremy, take it.
Good morning, Senator Portman. I had a question for you. We were talking earlier about the closeness of all of these Senate races and the fact that none of the really tight ones have decisively broken for Republicans. And I wonder what you attribute that to. Would you guys be in a better position if the Republican Party had a better standing with the American people right now?
Jeremy, I don't have you in my earpiece, so I couldn't hear much of what you said. But I can repeat it. Did you hear that?
Why haven't the races broken?
Well, the races should be breaking, especially in the South. You look at southern states where, Barack Obama's approval ratings in the 20s.
Right.
We're deadlocked in North Carolina. We're deadlocked in Georgia. We're deadlocked in Arkansas. We should be doing a lot better, shouldn't we?
Well, I don't think we're deadlocked in some of those states. Arkansas, I think we're up 5 points this morning. In the Real Clear Politics this morning, I checked it out. They do the aggregate of all the polls. It'll be a 52, 48 result. So we're winning in those states. But look, in some of these states like North Carolina and Georgia, we were badly outspent. We're starting to catch up now. But as you know, Democrats did a pretty good job of raising money this year, including Barack Obama, who's a great fundraiser. Not great on the governing side, in my view, but good at fundraising.
But bottom line is, though, if Republicans get elected to the Senate, if they take control of the Senate, what's their mandate? Stopping Barack Obama, or is there a positive mandate?
No, there's a positive mandate, and that's a great point. And, look, I think what we need to do as Republicans is show we can govern. And we need to be sure that if we get this majority, which I believe we will, and by the way, the enthusiasm's on our side too, Joe, so if you look at who's likely to vote, it's more likely to be Republicans. But once we get elected, we've got to start doing stuff.
Like what?
Well, like getting this economy moving. We talked earlier about the fact that...
What specifically?
Three things.
Everybody's for the economy moving.
3 things that can be done in the first month.
Okay.
Ready for this? First, a comprehensive package on energy. Yes, Keystone XL pipeline getting approved, the biggest infrastructure project in America next year. Let's go ahead with it. Makes us more energy dependent, lowers the price of gas at the pump. Let's combine that with energy efficiency, also more ability to permit energy projects, which is a problem that everybody acknowledges. Second, In addition to energy, tax reform. I mean, the president talks a lot about the fact that companies are taking jobs overseas. We want to stop it too. But what the president has proposed isn't going to help. It's going to make it worse. Let's actually deal with the underlying problem. The highest corporate tax rate in the world among the developed countries.
What's the third thing?
The third thing is let's do something on regulations. I mean, the regulatory burden in this country continues to increase. This is some of the surveys here. And there's a lot we can do because there's a bipartisan consensus in the fact that we need to do a better job on cost-benefit analysis, ensuring you use the least burdensome way to get somewhere. I mean, these are things that are simple and easy to do.
Governor Strickland, we should give you the same question, too.
Well, Nick, I was just listening to Senator Portman, and I was thinking we live in parallel universes. The fact is that we need a major infrastructure rebuilding program in this country. That is something that both parties used to agree on and should agree on. The president has put forth a jobs package that has not been acted upon. Energy, sadly, the Republican Party is not really embracing the new forms of energy. Even in Ohio, we took a major step backward with our renewable standards. There is much that needs to be done, but let me say a word about the Senate races. I don't think anyone knows who's going to come out the winner. These races are razor thin. And I think it's going to be perhaps the most exciting election night in terms of not knowing the outcome beforehand that we've had in a long, long time. We may not know who controls the Senate until early January when a possible runoff in Georgia takes place. So this is an exciting time. The people are getting engaged, and I think the Democratic Party is going to fare pretty well in this election.
All right, Governor Ted Strickland, thank you so much. Rob Portman,
Joe,
as always.